Before we get started, this is a workforce development program. The only thing we're doing, it's an entire volunteer organization across the country in all 300 schools where it's truly about workforce development, where we're trying to give kids skills that inspire them to try a little bit harder in school, but also inspire them because they're building confidence in who they are and what they know due to the situations we put them in when they're playing drone soccer, from building the aircraft from a kit to programming it for flight, to being confident, going, gosh, this will fly. Then when they do that, they treat this as a hovercraft instead of a toy they want to beat the tar out of. Then we put them onto a team that's co-ed. We insist on it being co-ed because that's real world. They have to learn how to work together. That team then has to function on their own, where there's a team captain that's a spokesperson for the team, not the coaches. It's at the point where they say, this is really fun. I like stuff that flies. I'm on this team. I'm so proud. And these kids generally wouldn't have ever thought they would be on a team. So we've taken the kids from the back of the classroom. We're going, I really hate people. To the point where they're going, I built this and I'm very proud of it. To now I'm on a team. And then they go in and compete against others and they get killed because it's really difficult. And then it's at that point that they ask themselves, what can we do to be better? Not the teachers or the adults come and go, you guys could be better. It's like, what can I do to be better on my team? That's when there's a transition when they realize I really like plugging that into the computer and programming it for flight. Did you notice that there's a 60% throttle cap? Did you notice there's 15? That's your computer scientist of the future. That's one of those key members of the team today. Then there's others going, these propellers are different from those propellers. And the flight controller, that's our mechanical engineer of the future, and that's also our maintenance engineer. And within that world, it's really great. There's always somebody who says, stop. You're good at this, and you're good at this. And that's the leader. That's the team captain. That's the team starting to congeal. And they have to go through that process, become better. And then they say, okay, what can we do? And then they learn how to score and fly and defend because the movements are really difficult. Keeping the aircraft maintained is really tough. Keeping it programmed correctly or enhancing the programming, it can be challenging. Yes. But they lift up themselves together. And it's at that point then we have worked very carefully, not only in Georgia, not only in Dekalb County, but across the country to put together a competitive sport where these teams can aspire to represent their city, represent their county, to represent the state, their school. Mm-hmm. And what this is about is that we're going to have our district championships. This is the fourth year in a row. We have our district championships here, DeKalb County, at the Greek Church, where the top finishers then will receive an invitation to go to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is the preeminent aviation aerospace university in the world. They have two campuses. They're really excited to welcome us to their student union building, where we'll have the top 24 teams across the country that are all competing to then become FAA Team USA. Not very often does a team of people get to say, we are Team USA, but the World Air Sports Federation is a subset of the International Olympic Committee. So we are directly related to them, that ultimately I will take Team USA overseas to compete on the world stage against other countries being represented by their teams, that ultimately we will host next year the World Championships in New York. So it's really a wonderful long path. I want to just give you that Reader's Digest so you kind of understand what we're doing here, that ultimately these kids will go to a place like Embry-Riddle. They'll go from the back of the classroom thinking, I hate people, to I'm a leader, to I'm very proud of what I'm doing and I'm trying hard in school. And that's where I want to go to school. That's what I want to do. What we want is to make these kids productive members of society, where they may not have thought they'd ever get anywhere. Now they're going further than they ever thought.
Yeah.
So question, when you said that the drone soccer was created in Korea, when they created it, was it the workforce development side, or is that more what you've done here?
That's what we've done here in the United States. It really, within Korea, the idea from the inventor, and I visited with him, was as a social tool. That there would be a drone soccer arena down at the local park, and the mother, father, and child would take their drone balls in hand down to the local park and compete with other people. And the Korean government and leadership got engaged. They saw this and said, you know what? There's more to this than just as a social tool. We need to make this into a program at schools. At this point, there's now thousands of teams flying and playing drone soccer in Korea because they understand the value of having a student who knows how to piece together a drone, from the flight controllers to the electronic speed controller to the radio receiver to the motors, the prop combo. Everything comes together that if you know how it works in a small scale, then they have a skill that will work in a commercial level as they graduate from high school and go beyond. So it's early training on skills that are very relevant. We look at the world today, that the world of drones, there's great demand for people that have these great skill sets, which to us is pretty straightforward because we've been playing with these drone balls for a while. But we want these kids to better understand from the very beginning what it takes to put one of these things together. Because
yes, and during the game, if there's an error and something happens or something breaks, they do the repair. They're not sending it off to get it repaired. They're actually going to do the repair themselves.
So how many kids are on a team?
the maximum number of kids on a team is 10.
Wow, that's still bigger than I thought.
And when they're flying, they're going to fly 5 at a time. So it'll be 5 versus 5. Usually a team's going to be 7 or 8 students, where there's 3 3-minute sets that they fly, and so there'll be the first group of 5 that will fly for the first 3 minutes.
For that first match.
And then there's a break where repairs happen, pilots are swapped out, and so it's 3 3-minute sets, and the best of 3 sets.
So of the 10 members of the team, everybody flies, or
everyone can get a chance
okay.
to fly. Some might be on the bench in the first match because you have 3 sets in each match. And so that match could be flown by a certain group. The second match, because once you see what you're dealing with, they don't know who the other team is, the strategy, how well they fly. The captain of the team, who's the leader, is going to say, wow, they got somebody over there. That flyer's really good. I need you, LeBron. I need you, Kobe. You know, like, they're going to know who is good at what. I need you to do the goal. But the goal is for every kid to have an opportunity. So you have your striker, who's the one who can get the goal. Then you have your lead, who follows the striker and is able to help him get the goal. Then you have the person who is the goalie, who's protecting the goal. And then you have your sweepers, who are also doing defense. But in order for that striker to get a score, everyone has to be back half court. So you have to think of a strategy, and you have to be able to use that strategy. And once you see what the strategy of the other team is, you may switch players and say, okay, I want to bring you in. I want to bring this person in. You're going to be a sweeper. You're going to be a lead. You're going to be a goalie. So that's what the captain does.
And I would assume, listening to this, can I touch this?
Yeah, sure.
When listening to this, it seems like you've got different science engineering people that you purposely pick that theoretically might not be as good at flying. Just taking a guess.
Correct.
But they're very important because they do the other aspect besides get to fly.
Yeah,
Right.
There's some that want to be on the bench and take care of maintenance, and many
Right.
times it's the earlier pilots who they really hone in on the maintenance part, but maybe they're afraid to step up and compete to fly, and so it gives them a good task while they watch and pick up tips and tricks,
Right,
and the next
right.
year they're probably going to fly. So
Like
it's-
Brian loved doing repairs, and he's now in his second year at SCAD in Savannah for mechanical industrial engineering.
Wow.
And he's minoring in film because he wants to use the drones to do film as well. Then we have Alex, who's an awesome flyer. I mean, he's really good at a lot of it, programming, flying, repairing. He can actually do it all. He was the leader and the captain of the team. Once he graduated, he didn't want to leave the game. You know, and so he's in his first year of college. He's studying film as well, but he became a drone soccer certified instructor, and he started a team in College Park who needed an instructor to come down. They wanted to do a new team. So the children continue in leadership. And the thing about when people try to experience it, when we do our drone soccer exhibits and they go, oh, I fly drones at the police department, or I'm a drone photographer, I'm professional. And they get in there and they try to do it and they're like, oh my God, this is so difficult, this is hard. But these children know how to do movements, strategic movements in small spaces. So you imagine when they go and drive or fly that $10,000 drone for a company and that company says, oh, you were on a drone soccer team? You know, this kid has a skill that the average person who is an FAA Part 107 pilot does not have.
The big reason is the flight controller on this aircraft and all the drones, soccer balls, we're not using everything about it. We can connect a camera, so this could be a first-person view. We could attach a GPS unit so it can triangulate and find 12 satellites and be positioned. That's what happens with a commercial drone, is that they have a GPS unit so it can triangulate. It can be precisely in a certain space at a certain orientation. And if that commercial pilot is ever flying, and I've had it happen to me where I was on a construction site doing construction progress photography inside an atrium where we needed to fly down into the atrium. Wind was very, very difficult. We got down there and lost satellites. And the fact that I knew how to fly allowed me to not have my propellers hit the side of the building.
Okay.
If students played drone soccer, they understand the orientation. They understand how to pull back or how to manage that aircraft versus a standard commercial drone pilot. They may not have ever had a chance to free fly with no satellites because from the very beginning, you turn the drone on, you let it warm up, you let it find all the satellites. Your iPad says, okay, ready to fly, and you lift off, and it's very precise. It's going to go out there and do its task, all programmed. Here, these students and what we're doing is literally flying by hand. So it's a skill. Charlotte's absolutely correct. It's a skill that is a minor skill, but it's really important and something that these students understand the subtleties of how to fly. And in fact, the better students know how to fly really hard, really fast. And when we see a good drone soccer match, when we and many times it's going to be the teams from China because there's hundreds and hundreds of teams, or from Korea, and they've had a chance to fly a lot. They can score in a 3-minute set. They can score 30, 40 points.
Wow.
So, and if we think about a commercial pilot wouldn't be able to fly through that 40-centimeter ring at the other end of the arena with such precision. It's something that the students build the skills towards that. And so again, they get a lot of confidence by the time they've gone into a season and had a chance to compete.
Right.
So all the teams are college age?
No.
Well, middle school and high school.
Yeah, this is
Middle school and high school.
12-year-olds on up. When we were testing the drone balls, we had 4 schools in Colorado that we worked with the teachers and the students to determine, towards the end of COVID, to determine what about this drone ball is correct? What can we do to make it right? The propellers, the programming. So the students, they were from 12 on up. And really what we found is that that's a point, or it's an age where a student isn't as quickly distracted by a shiny penny. They'll be able to focus in and really grow from that. We have students at SpaceX in Texas that are 8 years old because the parents are pushing them, 8, 9 years old. They said, well, we can go faster. We can move this more. So, but it's really that 12 years old on up.
So that's cool because you are really developing, besides workforce development, you're developing a new career for these high schoolers, let's say when you get to high school,
yes,
to go
I
to
have
college.
a young lady on our team who didn't even know what she wanted to do. And when she started playing drone soccer, she's decided she wants to be in the aviation field.
We have many examples like that. There was a young lady from Cabrillo High School in Long Beach, California, that was one of those students at the back of the classroom saying, no, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I don't like people that much. And she found herself on the drone soccer team. Through that growth, she was found to be the captain of the team. Ultimately, she was a spokesperson for the team. They won the national championship. We took them to Germany for an open international competition where she led the team, and they did very, very well. Well, she's now off to University of California, Long Beach, pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering, and she's a leader in her class. So it's really wonderful to see how these kids transition from, I don't know what I'm going to do, and to, I'm very excited about what I'm up to and where I'm going to go.
Right. Some of the children that have graduated from Georgia Arrows with First Georgia Drone Soccer League, like Morgan, she decided to do mathematics and be a mathematics teacher, but she was very good with programming. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, we have Brian, who's at SCAD that I've spoke about. We have Alex, who's at Georgia State with the filming. And then we have Caleb, who's doing mechanical engineering at Georgia Tech.
Well, we have the gal from here in DeKalb County, from Covington, Sade.
Yeah, well, she's getting ready to graduate. She hasn't graduated
she's a team captain. She's a strong young lady, and that's the kind of people we have here in this county, are really wonderful young students that are looking for a good future And Sade's a great example. I'm excited about what we get to see her be in 4 or 5 years, where she's going to be, because she's driven, she's strong. She's with Alex. They both were two captains of the other teams, and they're just rivalry. It was great. And so we've taken these kids and put a burn in their belly that is going to help propel them forward. I'm sure they're always going to remember.
Well, you know what's funny about Sade? When we were at the national championships in Springfield, Virginia, at the St. James, and they were playing against that team, and this team had this strategy trying to keep the striker down. And what they would do is get on top of the striker. And the striker would struggle to get from underneath of them, and the clock is ticking. Well, Sade found a way to get from under them. She saw that. And she's like, what a strategy. Did you see what they did? And she figured out how to do that. And when it happened to her in Tennessee, someone tried it when we were in Tennessee, she did a turtle mode or something with her drone, flipped up, and came right up from underneath them. They didn't hold her down long at all. So that's the part that I love even more, is the strategy of the game and figuring things out, because kids don't get to figure things out now. Everything is push a button, push this, and you don't have to figure anything out.
Let's explain what turtle mode is. So
let me go in and say, so if you've been listening to our show, we are with Charlotte Cain, who I've actually known for quite a few years, who is the founder of Stonecrest Fest.
Yes.
Now the founder of the Stonecrest Drone Soccer Team.
Yeah, First Georgia Drone Soccer League.
Georgia Drone Soccer Team. And we also in the studio have David Roberts, who your position with Drone Soccer.
Founder of U.S. Drone Soccer.
Founder of U.S. Drone Soccer. So you're the founder of U.S. Drone Soccer and the founder of the first
Georgia Drone Soccer League in the state of Georgia. That's the name, and it's also the first.
So we're excited to have you all. And as you've been listening, we've been hearing about the kids and how this is a workforce development piece, and it's so exciting because I was trying to tie that together, and now I understand. So now tell us about what we were going to talk about with the ball.
Charlotte mentioned turtle mode and the idea that the students have to think quickly, problem solve rapidly, decide and do immediately, and know how to get there. So turtle mode is when when the drone ball is flying, and this is a full contact sport, 5 versus 5 or 3 versus 3 in a 10-foot wide by 10-foot high by 20-foot deep arena, where there's goals, circular goals on each side. The team tries to defend their own goal. It's a 40-centimeter hole in the center of that goal, so the striker's trying to get through that goal in order to score a point. And collisions happen. It's full contact. You've never seen drones run into each other, but here they do it intentionally because they're surrounded by this sphere, which protects the propellers and protects the drones. So they're going really, really fast, and all of a sudden one gets knocked down, and it's upside down on the ground. Usually if you see a drone upside down on the ground, it's over. It's not going to be able to fly. And there's something called turtle mode, where the pilot switches the configuration of the drone from regular flight to turtle mode, where it triggers the propellers to go opposite directions of where they used to in 2 different places. And so the pilot has to say, okay, stop, go to turtle mode, flip this switch, do this, arm, turtle mode, flip it back up. And if they do it correctly, they can get it done in about 2 seconds.
Oh, wow.
If they don't know what to do, they're going to struggle and struggle and struggle, and they're down. They can't fly. So that 3-minute period goes racing by. And so if they are the striker, the only one on the team who is allowed to fly through the goal and score, if that striker's down, then it creates quite a problem because they're not able to score. They have to decide, am I going to declare myself out of this match and have a new striker brought in, where then they go down one player, they have a new striker. Do they do that? And so they're losing all this time. But if a good pilot like Sade can say, okay, I'm going to turtle mode, bing, bang, boom, I'm ready to go, pick up and fly and carry on. So there's rapid decision making, rapid recall of very technical tasks, and being able to think very clearly, as if, well, we've done this many times, let's carry on. So it's really wonderful to see that these are 14, 15-year-old kids who are doing this rapid problem solving. When people are yelling at them, there's big noise, it's happening, and big pressure, and they pull themselves out.
Yeah.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Maybe we're going to hit it lucky, and somebody will do that at your event.
Oh, you'll see turtle mode at our championship. Yeah.
So let's talk about the event that will be here in Dekalb County. So tell us about that date and time and everything.
The District 5 Championship.
Let me set it up, if I may. Mm-hmm. So U.S. Drone Soccer is a nationwide organization sanctioned by the Academy of Model Aeronautics, which then is a subset of the World Air Sports Federation, which is a subset of the International Olympic Committee. And under the Academy of Model Aeronautics, we have 11 different districts across the country, which is a gathering of states. Here we are in District 5.
Right.
So that's Georgia, South Carolina, Florida,
Tennessee,
and Alabama.
and Puerto Rico.
Yes, and Puerto Rico. So we're in the middle of our season where there have been district qualifiers across the country, which are tournaments of the teams within that district. And the qualifiers really have just given everybody a chance to fly and fly again and compete against each other, and ultimately just leads to rankings. So this leads us now to our district championship here in District 5, where all the teams from Tennessee, Alabama, hopefully South Carolina, Georgia, maybe Puerto Rico, will gather at the Greek Orthodox Church of the Annunciation here in Dekalb County for our district championship.
In the gymnasium.
Yeah, in the gymnasium. It's a wonderful little spot.
That's going to be on April 18th on Saturday. It starts at 10. Mm-hmm. We get there at 9, but it starts at 10. And it'll probably be over about maybe 3. Yeah, something like that.
So
it's
a
free
if you're interested
event.
In drone soccer, it's a free
they
event.
They should come, yes.
If you love drone soccer or just have an interest to figure out what drone soccer even is, you look for Annunciation Greek Cathedral off Claremont Road, off I-85, go to the gym, and it's 10 to 3.
Yes.
And I tell you, if you haven't done it, you need to get out and see it.
And not only that, if you have a young person in middle school or high school who may be interested in being on a team, we are going to be coming up to recruiting because, we have children who graduate from high school, they go off to college. Even though almost everybody on the team with Georgia Arrows, they don't want to leave the game, and they're like, I'm going to get a certified drone soccer instructor certificate, and I'm going to be a drone soccer instructor.
Referees too.
And referees and things like that, they, go into another level of the game. But we're always recruiting, and that is going to be around the time that we will be looking to recruit because drone soccer sort of goes along with the school year. Here in the South, they get out in May. Up north, they get out in June. And then we do a summer series. We have some different activities going on in the summer. But we're looking for new teams because we have the children who are graduating, going off to college.
But also the educators, if an educator's interested in bringing this into their school, it would be
Definitely.
great to come and see this sport in action.
Definitely.
Because then we can work together to help them find the funding to maybe bring it into their school and get engaged by the next fall.
Yeah, and then they can even use some of their the CTE funding that they have to do something like this. A lot of them are doing robotics, but with robotics, you've got the one robot, and there's only one person that's getting to do that on a team. Where here, it's much more interactive, and especially in DeKalb County because we're already a vendor with DeKalb County. So a DeKalb County school interested, it would be really easy for them to be able to order equipment and get started with this.
So what Charlotte said about the standard FIRST robotics, those are really, really great programs. They're fantastic. They really teach students great skills. A big difference between drone soccer and one of those robotics programs is that all the students hover over one robot. That's the star of the school, and it's generally going to be the juniors and seniors saying, step back, young kids, let the people with institutional knowledge do this, and you just watch us carefully. In drone soccer, everybody gets a drone ball. Everybody's responsible for maintaining their aircraft. In fact, it's not healthy for the teacher to try to maintain all the aircraft. They can't keep up with it. Right. The students they need to have that skill set. And so that's where these students have built the drone from a kit, from a box of parts. And so I'm sure in their very first day, they thought, what? I'm going to build a drone? I don't think so.
That part still was amazing me when you said it.
So the teachers have gone through professional development where they know how to build the drone ball. They then lead the students through. And there's very simple things like don't put a 7mm screw up in to secure the motor because that'll go all the way up into the motor and make it fail. Use the 3 meters. And so there's just small little decisions. But and the drone really only goes together in a certain way. But when the students have built this from the kit, I'm sure they were skeptical at the beginning, and then it's undeniable. So we found that if we hand the drone ball to the students and say, here you go, you're going to play drone soccer. If they did not build it if they didn't program it for flight to make sure the transmitter's talking to the receiver, the propellers are turning the right way, if we just handed two of them and say, here you go, they're going to beat it up. They're going to send it to the moon. They're going to land it. They're going to try and find the envelope. If they built it and they programmed it, they have this confidence, and they treat it like a hovercraft. They lift it off slowly, and they get
and
back
now
and
that you
forth.
say that too, David, there are some other companies that have drone balls that are nothing like the experience that we get with the drone sports, with U.S. Drone Soccer through our organization. A lot of them are plug and play. You know, you get it, and if it breaks, you've got to get the whole part. You know, it's not the kid fixing it and repairing it. So this is unique, you know, and different from any other drone ball. People go online and they go, oh, they've got drone balls here, but it's completely different. We don't sell this online because you do have to know what you're doing. And we want you to, every child gets an FAA trust certification, even to just be on the team. That's required to do before you start playing, because we really want them to take this serious. You are a pilot. You are in control of that drone. There's not any GPS on it.
And they're assuming a big responsibility when they put an aircraft into the sky, and that's part of the discussion that we have with them.
Before you fly, check everything, just like they do at the airport. And, of course, you know, I do a lot of drone soccer games. I know we're going to have one at the Stonecrest Fest as well. So we have it April 18th at the Greek Orthodox Church in the gymnasium at 10 o'clock. That's the District 5 championship. But in October, on October 3rd, when I do the Stonecrest Fest every year, I always bring the arena out, and the kids fly, and some of the children come out and get a chance to fly as well.
So let's go back, because the first event's April 18th.
Right.
So you're going to have how many teams?
I think 6 or 8 teams should be there.
6 or 8 teams. And then the kids compete.
Yes.
So, and I know you mentioned Daytona Beach. So the winning teams then will go to Daytona Beach?
The U.S. Drone Soccer National Championship will be at Daytona Beach at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, in the Student Union building, beyond campus. Our goal, or our mission, is to inspire students to pursue a degree or to pursue a knowledge and career. And we believe that we're really kind of completing that pipeline by putting them onto the campus of Embry-Riddle, where they can see the School of Aviation. They can
So here's the question.
But at the national game, you're going to have teams from all of the different districts, from New York, from New Jersey, from Pennsylvania, from California.
The top 24 teams.
Yeah.
So here's the question. You're trying, the goal is to get them to go to an aviation school or engineering or something like that.
Or start their own business.
Right. But like, let's say you finished up high school, you want to go. Is there drone teams in colleges?
We do have more schools popping up in colleges because students are graduating and starting their own teams at colleges. There is not an age limit for drone soccer according to our rule set. There's not an age limit. There are 2 different sizes that at the collegiate level we might see the larger size. So this is according to the rules, this is a 20 centimeter diameter aircraft, 300 grams in weight maximum. This is F9A-B. F9A-A is a category where these aircraft are 40 centimeter in diameter.
Oh, wow.
They go 0 to 100 miles an hour in seconds.
Are they still play in that same arena?
No, they play in a much larger. They play in an arena that's
like
half the size of a gymnasium.
Oh, that'd be super cool.
It's really amazing to see. It's very expensive to approach.
Probably so. But, you know, it just seems like the natural progression. So you get the kids interested in junior and high, or middle school. We call it here middle school and high school. So it would make a lot of sense to get these programs, even if it's a club team, to say you can go to Embry-Riddle or you can go to Georgia Tech, and there's already a team that you can participate with.
Yes. As we grow, we anticipate seeing that happen.
That would be awesome. And then just the fact that they can do this and then get a job with Walmart or...
But I tell you something that you might think is kind of cute. We've had some seniors that were asking, can we have a senior team? And I'm like, you know, I thought to myself, I said, that could be a nice way to put generations together. If you had a senior team and then you have the younger kids helping with all the little tedious task of helping them with their drone and all of that, a way to bring the young and the old together. That's more of a community
I'm
social
surprised they
thing.
haven't asked you for an alumni team.
Right.
Yeah,
So we've
alumni,
grown
yeah.
in 3.5, 4 years. We've grown from those 4 teams I mentioned in Colorado to 350 schools across the country.
And when we were in Virginia that year, we had 16 teams, but actually only 15 were from the United States because we had the team from Istanbul, Turkey, that came out and wanted to participate in that. And they brought candy from their country for all the other kids. And
So you're going to bring some Turkish teams to the Greek Cathedral?
Very good idea. Interesting notion. I will say that at our national championship with the top 24 teams from across the United States, that at the end, the winner will be dubbed FAI Team USA.
So and then that's
and
when
then
you
they can go
take them.
internationally. Where's
Right.
it going to be internationally?
There are there's an international series of competitions. There's in Turkey, Bulgaria, Hong Kong, Long Beach, California will host one. So there's 6 different countries that will host an international series that establish the world ranking in 2026. And then in 2027, with just late breaking news is coming out that U.S. Drone Soccer, we will host the World Championships here in the United States in July of 2027. So we're pretty excited
So
about
we're
that.
going to do that in DeKalb?
Oh,
No, we're not going to be able to do it in DeKalb. SUNY Polytechnic in Utica, New York has been a great host where we held our first 2 championships. So it's going to be on the SUNY Poly campus. Yeah.
So that's the important thing. The skills you get, the knowledge you get, the teamwork you get, the ability you get. So we only got a couple minutes. Let's switch to Stonecrest Fest. So we kind of have some stuff about that going on in this fall.
Yes, we're going to be doing our pre-events like we always do. The Chalk Art Walk will be on August 28th at the Nature Preserve. The Sunset Stroll and Concert on top of Arabian Mountain will be on October 2nd, the evening before the festival. And the Stonecrest Fest will be October 3rd at Browns Mill Park. And we're going to have interactive things, art, dance, entertainment, bands, music, food, bouncy houses, activities for everyone. And of course, we always deal with health and wellness for the community as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's just growing. We had all sorts of entertainment. It's not like one genre of entertainment with the festival. So we had Issa Matul doing folkloric dance from Mexico. We had some young ladies doing belly dancing. And then we had some kids doing your regular hip-hop dance. We had a blues and jazz band. We had a national performing artist, D. He came out, D. Lucas. He is a jazz player. He plays all over the country. And so he was there, one of our headliners for that day.
So run this back. What month is this in?
October 3rd is the Stonecrest Fest from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Browns Mill Park in Stonecrest, Georgia.
I guess to conclude.
Well, we also have drone soccer at the
that's what I was going to
Stonecrest
bring up.
Fest.
It wraps it all back into drone
Yes.
soccer. So you have drone soccer
and then the
at
kids
Stonecrest
come
Fest.
out and they do like a scrimmage or whatever. You know, it's not like an official game, but it's a scrimmage, and it gives the kids who are at the festival, if they're 12 and up, of course we always get the 5-year-olds that want to fly, but if they're 12 and older, we allow them to experience flying a drone soccer ball so they can see. And we give them about a minute or two just to get the experience. And if they're interested, they can look at what teams are available, what part of the city they live in, because we are popping up with more teams. We're actually recruiting right now for a team in Decatur, in DeKalb
And this
County.
really kicks off, Stonecrest Fest, the drone soccer there kicks off our season because it's in October, and really the season begins as kids go back to school in September. So this will be the first big activity for drone soccer here in the Atlanta metro.
So it's perfect. So April the 18th, they can see a tournament from the southeast, basically. Then in October the 2nd,
October 3rd,
they can go to Stonecrest Fest. And if you're 12 and above, you can get out there and experience it.
And if they want to get recruited,
Join a team.
it's possible to join the team. Yes.
So it's a perfect opportunity to see what it is, in April, go and actually get to fly and join a team and go to a great festival all at the same time with Stonecrest Fest.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have plenty of food and all kind of stuff there. I mean, we got so many testimonies from people, and they come from all over. We have people from Tennessee, South Carolina, Savannah, Alabama, New Jersey, Virginia, and they stay at the hotels right over by Stonecrest Mall.
At the mall, yes.
Because it's really close to the festival. And they're just like, oh, are we having this next year? We're going to put it on our calendar. Actually, I just got a call from Savannah. They're trying to bring a whole group up.
Nice.
From Savannah to come to the festival that were there last year.
So to close out, tell all of our listeners or our viewers how to find out more information about both events, or all three concepts, I guess I should say.
You can go to usdronesoccer.org and find out all about U.S. Drone Soccer and our nationwide competitions and our nationwide program. You also then from there can find how can we from U.S. Drone Soccer? I think we could find the
First Georgia Drone Soccer League
yeah.
is on there as well. But then you can go to stonecrestfest.com. Stonecrestfest.com is going to take you even to drone soccer as well, because there is a link on stonecrestfest.com to find out about drone soccer, to find out about the festival, to find out about the chalk art walk, and to find out about the sunset stroll and concert on top of Arabian Mountain, and a whole bunch of wonderful things about Stonecrest.
So all you really need to remember is usdronesoccer.com.
.org.
usdronesoccer.org. And stonecrestfest.com to get all your information about these great events and great workforce development careers from this, which I did not put together.
Yes.
We truly appreciate Discover Dekalb and DeKalb County for hosting our district championship.
Sports Dekalb.
Sports Dekalb. That's
Yes.
right. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Well, we
Sports Dekalb.
appreciate the opportunity, and we've loved having you all on the show. And I'm sure you're going to be out there filming stuff when it comes up. So thank you all for being into our show today.
Thank you for having us. You know, I love Discover Dekalb Convention and Visitors Bureau. They are the best. They are the only tourism company that has the podcast truck that's traveling, the only one in the country.
Correct.
So
We
I'm
love
very
that,
proud
too.
of you all. Yes.
And you're the one that coined Powered By.
Oh, yes.
Discover Dekalb.
Powered by Discover Dekalb Convention and Visitors Bureau. Stonecrest Fest is definitely powered by Discover
And
Dekalb
after you said
Convention
that, I
and
just
Visitors
love that.
Bureau. Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you all for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.